This is gonna be like the edit from hell, so I'm already like bracing for it. So it's fine. We can just say whatever the we want and hope for the best.
Welcome to the Sauce Pod.
It would go viral. I use ChatGPT for all of my Tinder matches. Here's what happened.
Exactly. That would go so viral. Put that on YouTube, put that on TikTok. I mean, I'm down to do it. We take it one more level and the thumbnail is does this person want to date me or ChatGPT? And you have two separate profiles and one is one.
Girl, this is like Hollywood should be thanking us right now because we are literally planning the future of film, cinematography, of the way reality that storytelling TV arcs will reality TV. In the future, it's going to be like, is it AI or is it human? Number one, that's going to be like the first wave. And then we're going to enter this like new wave of AI where it's going to be, which AI are you in love with? It's going to be Love is Blind, except it's not a person. And like, that is your future spouse. Like, it's just how the world works, you guys. I don't make the rules.
Honestly, is that how you find the perfect man? A robot? Is that the only way? Okay, so I just threw our previous newsletter into ChatGPT and I literally just copy and pasted the entire thing and I said, give me some absolutely hilarious and funny questions based off of this. So, are you ready for a question?
What do we got? Yeah, what do we got?
If Musk and Zuck were in a boy band, what would their hit single be called?
Oh.
Tweet me, maybe.
I mean, my like go-to instinct would probably be hit me baby one more time, but the fact that Elon Musk just like refuses to step up to the ring regardless.
If Threads is unraveling, does that mean we're all getting a sweater? How much lemonade can you make from one lemonade?
Well, actually, that one's not bad.
That one's actually so good.
I'm gonna allow that one to pass.
Then it goes, remember, humor is subjective, so what might be funny to one person might not be to another.
Welcome back to the Sauce Pod, you guys. It's been a couple of weeks. Now we are back to give you guys the sauce, the scoop, all of the good stuff, everything that happened over the last couple weeks. In addition to some of the stuff that happened today, or this week really, because it is August 28th. I don't really want to talk about Elon and Zuck because for all intents and purposes, like that's over. While we're on the topic of Twitter, we might as well just like get some of the Twitter news out of the way. Somebody wrote a tweet today that's like, I will never call it X just because I keep forgetting, so it will always be known as the platform formerly known as Twitter. And I'm like, yeah, hard agree. Yes. Okay, so I have seen recently on Twitter that they've started introducing the like jobs, almost like a hiring section. And when I clicked on it, it was like, this is coming soon, hiring through X.
What?
I don't even know.
Like a LinkedIn recruiting type thing?
Yeah, a LinkedIn thing. Well, it's I imagine it to be almost like a competitor to LinkedIn, kind of, where it's like a social job marketplace where it's like a job board. It's maybe like some recruiting and probably a place.
I hate that so much.
People were like, what the fuck? And he replied on a tweet that said something like, I literally hate LinkedIn so much that when somebody sends me a new hire and they send me their LinkedIn, I hate it. And I just tell them to send me like a CV instead. And like to put all the pieces together really quick, it's like, we know that he's been wanting to build this like super app thing. We know that he has like this sick and twisted dark fantasy obsession with the word X or the title X. So therefore this fits. And the idea of a super app is it like brings in all of these little pieces of all these different various life apps that you might need, your social, your banking, your delivery, your job recruiting and hiring and applying to jobs, your messaging and all of these things like into one place. And right now in like Western culture, we obviously don't have something like that at the moment. WeChat being the perfect example of this. People have described it in China as like the only app that you need. It's your subway token, or it's like your subway scanner. It's your health card. It's your delivery. It's your mail. It's your like social media, your camera. It's literally fucking everything for a very obvious like socioeconomic reasons that I won't go into of why that works so well for them. I don't see that just being a thing that pops up overnight. I think that Elon Musk, by gradually bringing things like hiring now into the fold, is going to possibly like set the wheels in motion for it to be more accepted.
I get to the point where I'm like, oh, Twitter's doing something again. Does it matter?
Yeah.
Not really.
No, only really for the people who are like so deeply in that space at this point are the only people that it matters to, because for the larger picture, it's going to be so hard to even get a snapshot or a picture of what Twitter looks like on the inside. Twitter used to be a publicly traded company and they would publish their earnings reports. It's no longer the case with Elon Musk not doing that. How are we going to know how many monthly active users, daily monetizable users, like all of these different things actually exist on the platform, because nobody can trust Twitter at this point. Also, Trump's back on Twitter. We've known that for like a while, but he like tweeted something.
He posted his mugshot. That's the first
Yeah.
thing he did.
Yeah,
He came back after 2 years and he's like, here's my mugshot.
He's just like, fuck it.
He's just his own best troll.
I'm really not looking forward to election season on X, Twitter.
It's too much. At least for me right now, it's just too much for me.
Yeah. Facebook, I kind of just like swore that beast off a long time ago and absolutely never use it unless I literally have to.
I only use it for stalking. Literally only for stalking. It's the best app for stalking. That's it. That's all you need it for.
Even like young kids have them because they can connect their apps and shit to it.
And no one really manages their Facebook. So I feel like if you want to figure out what kind of past lives they live, that's where you go. I'm sorry. I sound like a crazy person.
Serving the sauce right now. No, I love this for us. I love that you just served that, because it's like so much same. If you want to stalk somebody, start with their Facebook typically. This is strictly, you know, user research. I will say, if you're creating content out there and you're just like grinding all day on social media, like maybe it's worth actually looking into some of these huge creators that you like aspire to, because sometimes you'll catch them in their own little tangles, and sometimes you'll find that their past lives totally match up to everything that they talk about, and it makes you love them even more and find them even more authentic. So not that I'm condoning stalking, because don't, but like it's worth peeking into people's like LinkedIn's or Facebook occasionally.
Yeah.
We're going to coin this gentle stalking. We advocate for gentle stalking.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to get canceled. It's fine.
It's a joke. It's a joke. We're not serious at all.
Okay, so Twitter, I'm sure that there's probably a couple other things that I could talk about with Twitter. So other than the whole Elon Musk and Zuck fight thing, which we're not talking about, a couple weeks ago, CEO Linda Yaccarino, which I always forget that she's CEO of X.
Like, where is she at?
Yeah, like where are you?
I feel like she's not putting her foot down enough.
Yeah, it's just confusing to me. It's a lot to determine, unclear, but we'll circle back around on it in a few months, I'm sure. So she did a recent CNBC interview where she painted a very rosy picture, despite pretty clear issues under Elon Musk's, you know, leadership, especially with like advertisers. In this interview, she basically promised that seamless video calls are coming, online payments are coming. She said that the rebrand to X has been a huge success, brushed off any concerns about like hate speech on the platform, claiming that 99.9% of the content is healthy, which is a pretty stark contrast, I think, to some of the observable facts. So, you know, I hope Linda's okay and that, you know, she's not being like forced to say these things.
I feel like she's being held at gunpoint. That's just how I feel.
She's a hostage in her own X.
Like, yeah.
Linda, honey,
okay.
help is available. So in addition to that whole situation, X is like in the final stages of its
getting rid of
the platform formerly known as Twitter. It has listed 678 items up for auction, including appliances, furniture, instruments. What the fuck? Twitter branded ephemera and an oil painting of Ellen DeGeneres' 2014 Oscar selfie, which was made famous on Twitter. Apparently bidding opens up in a couple weeks. So September 12th, if you really want to grab a piece of your Twitter pie and want to, you know, live in an era of the internet that was, you know, you can check it out. There's some funny things being auctioned off that we linked in a newsletter a couple weeks ago.
You know what I just thought of that I feel like is gonna be sad is like 3 generations from now, if the Earth still exists.
No.
3
Yeah, continue.
Are they gonna even know that Twitter was a thing? You know, is it gonna be like
no, dude?
If kids nowadays feel about DVDs, I say kids nowadays.
No, you know what it is? It's gonna be like, it's gonna be one of those things that existed in all of its glory, but it's no longer like a thing until in future generations someone brings it back. I would hate to see Twitter actually, like when I think about it, become this like weird morphed thing that Elon Musk is making it. Not that I don't think that there's potential, because I definitely think there's potential. With X, I'm like just waiting on the sidelines. Like, I am kind of a neutral observer at this point. Like, I fucking hate most of what he's done, and I think a lot of it just is really contradictory and like challenging. But at the same time, like, he's a shit poster. He's gonna do what he's gonna do.
What did I read? That he wants to make it impossible to block people?
Okay, yes. Last week, he tweeted something that like he wants to get rid of the block feature or remove the block feature because
like,
it goes
what is
against
his purpose.
It goes against, I think, the nature of a town square, and that you can only block people in your DMs, but not on your regular tweets. So
Bro,
he says
like,
that it's coming.
That's so messed up. Like, you just you don't have autonomy over your social accounts anymore. You don't get to control what you're looking at. Like, is that where we're going?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
I don't know, it probably has to do with a lot of things that I'm not even gonna like go into, but I think that it's not going to be possible anyways, because if he wanted to if he had to remove the block feature, it wouldn't show up in the app stores anymore, because it's a requirement with the app stores.
Okay.
Yeah.
Plot twist. X is the app store.
Dude, right? That's what it's going to become. It's like, if you want to use the app, you're going to have to download the X app store. They're going to pull a full like market category. They're going to define a market category on their own, the way that like Apple did, where it's like you have to have an Apple charger and you have to have an Apple thing and da-da-da. Block feature aside, I don't think it's going to happen, because again, they would get banned from like the app store, because it's a requirement if you're a social site to have the ability to block people for obvious reasons. And it could just make the site more of a hell site, which we, lovingly call it a hell site, but it kind of will be worse if you can't do that one little function. So last week there was like a huge moment of like, oh my God, what's going on? That really felt like a break in the fabric of Twitter, where it appeared as though X removed all of like Twitter's history prior to 2014. And people were freaking out, because like that's a lot of internet history of just content that exists. And it actually creates a lot of other questions for me. But that's a lot of stuff. And some of that to go down just in the drop of a hat, not being available or accessible anymore, is a huge problem for a lot of reasons for a lot of people. It's since been restored, so all of that stuff came back online. It's just like a good reminder, though, that this man is like, he's controlling all of the bets at this point. And so if he really wanted to make a decision to say like, okay, we're going to offload all of Twitter's archives prior to this date, he could just do that. He doesn't have to go and get like all this like approval and all this shit. Like, he owns this shit, you guys. So it is a good reminder, if you are, creating on the platform as a brand, as a marketer, as just a person, to make sure that you like kind of diversify your platforms, because these things do happen, as we've seen.
Yeah, or even like not diversify, like diversify your audience, make sure you're on other platforms where your audience would also live. But any posts that you have from that long ago, if you don't have those saved in, I don't know, a Notion page or a Google Doc or somewhere, start copying and pasting them over, because what if you just lose them all?
Advertising revenue is still a thing for both sides of the spectrum, including creators who are, interested in making money by being an author, a creator on X. The ad revenue share program is still happening. And then on the advertiser side, X apparently has convened a new client council that they're trying to basically use to get advertisers more comfortable with the fact that like they can advertise on Twitter, or sorry, on X. God, I need to stop doing that. Because if you guys remember, like a bunch of advertisers pulled out when Elon Musk took over the platform, and advertising revenue has kind of continued dwindling. And so he's trying to incentivize key advertisers to come back to the platform. And he's saying stuff like, hey, we're doing it the right way. We're being safe. And we have a client council now for our ad partners where we're talking about cutting down moderation or changing policies or how we're going to handle that. We shall see what that looks like. My guess is probably Linda Yaccarino had her hand in that because she handled a lot of the added sponsorship partnerships at like NBC, I think it was. So all of which is to say advertising is juicy right now on Twitter. They're really trying to get people back in spending money on ads. I've seen more and more brands pop up all over the place. Customer acquisition costs right now are really low. Same with click-through rates and cost per impressions. This is what I've heard just from being on the platform and other people sharing their like cost per acquisition and all of that stuff. Is it's like really low right now because there's less competition, because less people are advertising. So if you are spending your ad dollars, or you have, ad dollars to spend, it might be worth looking at. That is the whole X Twitter rundown. The changes keep coming fast, you guys, always, every week. That's what you need to know about what's happening over on that platform. What else do we got? There is a potential verified only feed that Instagram is working on. It's been spotted by Alex Poluzzi, who is one of our favorite social researchers who finds all these little hot tips in the drop down where you can switch between your different your different types of algorithms in your feed. There's the following, the favorites, and then in this screenshot, it shows a meta verified feed, which would mean that you're only going to be scrolling verified users.
Why would Instagram do that? It's just weird that Instagram would be like, oh, here's the meta verified feed. In my mind, just stay away from the verified shit. We saw what a shit show it was on Twitter or X or whatever the hell. It was all over the place. It caused a huge disaster. Like blue check marks were great until when they were left alone, and until we started messing around with them and caused a bunch of chaos.
I know.
I just feel like it's not worth it. My other thing is like, okay, we have all of these big influencers who are verified. That's great. And then we have these influencers that are paying for the verification. I think my question would be like, is this meta verified people that I am following? Is that what it is? Or is it like a curated, like, oh,
yeah, you're right.
Look at all these celebrities, or look at all these, people with high status. My thing is like, I'm not on Instagram for that, or on any platform for that. These are the people that I enjoy following. These are the people that I enjoy their content. I could care less if they have a blue check mark by their name. Maybe they're a fake, but oh well. Like I enjoy their content. So I don't love this from Meta or Instagram. I don't love it.
No, it's unclear if that's going to be, like you said, Anna, like verified across the board, like just kind of a discovery feed of verified people, or if it's going to be like verified users that you specifically follow. It's kind of like hard to tell. And this is very clear to me that Meta is obviously following in the footsteps of what Twitter has done, X has done, and so many other platforms are starting to do now, where they're pushing this like idea of verification. And I hate it. I hate it so much, but I'm going to like play devil's advocate. I think that it's going to come regardless. I think that all of these platforms, because we live in a subscription economy now, where we're used to paying $4 or $5 a month for an app, for a streaming service, for an editor on your phone, like all these different things that kind of like add up to bigger numbers. But like you're used to paying that subscription fee in exchange for use of that service, thereby meaning that like you get less ads. There's still ads on a lot of these platforms, but you get less ads, and you get, you're helping to provide revenue for the platform, I guess. So I don't know, like I hate that we're going in that direction because it's going to make people a lot more selective, I think, and it's going to change their behavior if everything becomes pay to play. I think there will still be like obviously the big free segment of it, but for brands and for creators or entrepreneurs who have like a personal brand, I think that all of these platforms are going to be pay to play at a certain point in time. And that's just going to be the nature of it because they can't rely on advertisers, you know, sustainably forever. Rant over. Threads is not doing great, you guys. Threads is unwell.
It's the same thing that's happened with I feel like Be Real. It kind of has just fallen to the wayside. Like it's still on my phone. I still get the notifications. I still probably see it that it exists every single day because of those notifications. But I don't really have any like urge or excitement to click on to either of those. I know they're launching their web version or they have launched their web version, but I feel like they're gonna have to come up with something new in order to keep people around, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. But right now, X might have to disappear in order for Threads to work, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, and I think it was just like I wanted it to work so bad. I think everyone did because we were just so tired of the shit happening in Twitter. People on X and Twitter are making memes of the shit happening on Threads. Like, yeah, riveting conversations, groundbreaking shit happening over Threads. Just because it's like so much of the content on Threads feels like it doesn't have any real substance to it. And I think part of that is because nothing is originating there and the creators are really just cross posting, and the people who are there are just there because like maybe they have some Instagram friends that are there, you know, or they're big on Instagram and Threads is just another way for them to connect with their followers. Like, and now with, you know, the monetization efforts that are happening with X, it kind of just is like, well, what's the point with Threads?
Yeah, at least create your account, and people that have set their settings to like follow who they're following on Instagram will follow you automatically. Yeah. So that'll give you a little ego boost to get like 12 followers immediately.
Yeah. Keep them in that pocket.
By all means, cross post if you have the time to do that. Just like if you're posting on TikTok, always post on Instagram and YouTube Shorts if you can. I just wouldn't put too much effort into Threads right now. I wouldn't. That's just how I feel. Yeah.
So you really haven't heard of Bobbi Althoff?
Oh, the podcaster. First time I saw it, I was just scrolling on Instagram and I came across, I forget who she was interviewing, and she's a little bit eccentric and kind of out there, but she's fun. She's really good.
She's funny. I really like her.
I read your intro and I didn't know all of this. But she's smart. This is smart right here.
Dude, so let me just give you some backstory. I love Bobbi Althoff. I've been following her for a couple years. She's like a mommy TikToker, and she's always just made like those types of comedy TikToks about her mom life. Like she has these two kids. She calls them, they're two daughters, and she calls them Richard and Concrete. She pivoted. Like she started kind of blowing up on TikTok a little bit. People were starting to like pay attention to her. And I was so funny because you get to like see some of these creators rise to like fame, if you even want to call it that, in real time if you follow them enough and like follow them at an early point. And you start to see like how they pivot their niche and their content. So she started making more and more videos just about like her life and like funny weird scenarios and things, more kind of like lifestyle, less focus on mom stuff. And then a few months ago she decided, hey, I want to make a podcast. She's never done a podcast before, but I guess she listens to them and she likes them and was like, I want to figure out how to do that. So she did it, and she started she posted to her followers, hey, anyone that can hook me up with a celebrity to interview, I'll pay you $300. So somebody hooked her up with like Rick Glassman, who's I think an actor. She interviewed him. Somebody hooked her up with Miranda. Not Miranda. Who is that chick from Colleen Ballinger?
Oh, I love her. I love her.
So much drama around her lately. Yeah, so she interviewed her, and then I guess Drake started liking her posts, right? Like Drake,
cool.
the rapper.
Yeah.
And so she was like, fuck it, and DM'd him, hey, do you want to come on my show? And he was like, sure. So literally within like less than 48 hours since that first DM was sent, she hopped on a flight, went to Memphis to where he was staying. I think he was on tour. So got there, recorded the whole podcast episode like in his bed. It was this like iconic moment of like they're sitting in his bed and she's asking him like, what kind of music do you sing? And stuff like that. And it's just the awkwardness is so palpably present. There's so much tension, and it's great. So that whole thing happened. Apparently, she mentioned this like behind the scenes that like his team recorded it and had the rights to all of the material, and then they did the edit on it, and then they sent it back to her. So she couldn't like record it because probably because of like NDAs and like, you know, like super famous rich people stuff. After this whole thing, the episode was out for, I want to say like less than a week, maybe. I don't know how long the episode was out for, but it was a little bit of time. And suddenly it was just like deleted.
Well, and then now it is reposted because now it says like Drake and Bobbi recently deleted interview.
Yeah, and it's back up. It's been reposted on like a lot of different people's YouTube channels because that's what people do is like repost this shit when it gets deleted. No, this was my prediction even when I wrote this newsletter intro last week, was that this whole thing was still unfolding, but that it was all just like a big PR ruse, and that it's like
no, this is on someone else's. Sorry, I want to make sure. I guess this is on someone else's. Bobbi Althoff clips. This must not be hers.
No, that is hers, I think. She has two channels. One is like a clips channel, and then one is a, yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways,
it's very shady, very mysterious. It's out there. You guys can find it. The unfollowing, they've unfollowed each other too. So I don't know if they've since like refollowed each other, but it's created like this, you know, drama that's definitely got people talking. Made her like the number one viral trending topic on like X, on Google for a minute. The podcast got millions of hits. Like it was insanely popular, and then it was all just gone, and that conversation came back around.
I heard they unfollowed.
Are they still unfollowed?
I think
we need the latest. We gotta find it. Well, we'll update you guys if this story evolves at all. Otherwise, if they don't refollow each other, maybe there was some real drama. Who knows? All in all, just a really like interesting take on a creator who was already on a trajectory, was just like, I want to make a podcast. And then makes a podcast, and not only makes it, but manages to get Drake on it within like 4 months of this podcast launching. It's impressive and it's really cool. So don't give up your daydreams, you guys. That's the takeaway.
Don't give up on your daydreams.
So on the AI front, though, I do have some AI news to share. Some kind of big AI news. MidJourney has finally added inpainting, which is where essentially you can tweak an image by like painting over it with your cursor, or like selecting an area and then adding or removing elements. It's been like a long time coming. People have asked for this in basically every update ever for MidJourney is like, give us inpainting in some way, shape, or form. And they haven't done it up until now, but it has been so worth it.
So how do you trigger that in MidJourney? Like after it creates your final image?
So basically after you upscale an image, right? So you put your prompt in, you get your like 4 images back. You hit upscale for the one that you want to choose. And then when you do that, you'll get this new button after upscales that says very regional. Regional is in parentheses. And then from there, you can like select parts of the image and basically type in a new prompt or adjust the existing prompt. You can select with like a square crop drag tool, or you can do like a physical where you're like, I don't know what it's called, an arrow tool type of thing. Where you're like, you're like select a selection tool. So you're like painting the selection basically. And then you can continue iterating on it too. So like if you like in paint that thing, and then you you hit go and it generates like 4 more options. You pick one of those, you upscale it, and then you could do another in painting. So people have been able to do some really, really cool stuff. From like, somebody did a challenge where it was like, in paint this room. Basically it was like an empty room, and then everyone just added their own like, stuff to
cool.
it. Or like fixing things like fingers and hands, which are still kind of an issue. Changing the color of stuff, like I don't like this person's clothing in this image, I'm going to change it, or the background. So you just gives you like a lot of control overall. And it's a fun little feature that's been a long time coming. And I hope if you're listening to this and you like AI art and you are familiar with MidJourney, I would hope that you give it a run. And if not, you should do it anyways, because it's mind-blowing and it's pretty cool shit. So
yeah, I haven't tried it out yet and I want to.
Yeah, you have to. It's so fun.
You have to have the premium version, probably.
I think so. They go back and forth a lot. They go back and forth with whether they allow free or not. Like I always just tell people, check, go try it. And if it doesn't let you, then you have to pay. Other AI news really quick is no copyrights for AI artwork, in case you hadn't heard. A federal judge last week dropped a pretty big bombshell that AI generated artwork doesn't get copyright protection, or at least not in the United States, because there's no human touch to it. Judge Beryl A. Howell gave a thumbs down to computer scientist Stephen Thaler's bid to copyright his AI masterpiece, which is, I think, basically just an AI created model or a neural network or something like that. And this isn't even the first time that like non-human creations have basically been told that they can't get a copyright. If you guys remember, there was a monkey selfie from a few years ago. When was that? 2011 to 2018 is when this series of disputes took place over whether or not there could be a copyright for this monkey that took a selfie of himself, and no copyright was awarded. So if you're an artist, you're a creator, you're using AI, if you're letting AI do any of the heavy lifting, don't expect exclusive rights to that work. And more of these like AI assisted artistic masterpieces are emerging every day, every week, really. I think it's time to rethink how we blend technology with talent, because more and more things are going to be so heavily influenced by AI, but that's another conversation.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Tell me about my AI. Yes.
Yeah.
We were both like, yes.
Yeah. We've talked about how Snapchat users feel about the My AI on Snapchat. We all kind of think it's creepy. It claims to not have your location, but if you ask it for restaurants near me, it'll pull up your exact location and tell you like how many miles you're away from blah blah blah. So it definitely has your exact location, in case you're wondering. I mean, Snapchat, we already know Snapchat creepy. Does, because there's the map mode, but it's just weird to have your fears in AI reconfirmed when you're talking to an AI on Snapchat, especially because a lot of, I think minors are on Snapchat and using Snapchat. Last week, the AI bot, and I didn't catch this, but I guess accidentally posted a live story. So just like any regular person would post a story, this Snapchat bot posted a story, and it was a short video of a wall, just like a white wall, just a video of the wall. It sounds boring, but it definitely kind of creepy. Like, whose wall was it? Is it an AI generated wall? Like, is there anything in this room? Is AI, my AI need help? Does it need wall like decor recommendations? Like,
it was trending on Twitter. People are like, is Snapchat's My AI okay? What is going on? Why is it posting stories? Guys, AI is wild. Have you been using Cloud at all?
Claude, yes. I like it a lot.
How did we feel?
It's almost tied with ChatGPT, or it might just be tied with ChatGPT. It gives really good answers.
100%. I've been using it interchangeably. I still am. And I'm like, I'm into it, man. Like, I think that it's really good for like the longer format stuff, especially. I love that you can just like upload docs to it. It does take a little longer, it feels like, but I think the quality is possibly better. Instagram is apparently testing audio clips. That's a thing. Apparently they've been testing it for a while, but Instagram has officially announced that a new audio clip option is coming to Notes in the app. I forgot about Notes. That's when you can put a little note on your little bubble, right? In your DMs.
Yes. And you can also post a song from Spotify. So I guess now you'll be able to like do a little voice recording and be like, "Good morning, people."
With your crackly good morning.
Yeah. Hi guys. I just woke up. So that's kind of interesting, I guess.
Yeah, like that's all there is to it.
Fun little feature. I see people use Notes like a decent amount. I feel like it's a less intrusive story because like people are gonna see it if they go into their DMs.
Yeah. Like they can see that you're just in there vibing, but like you don't have to
you're
be
not
all
posting
in
a whole curated story.
Oh, you did mention the Threads web app, which we should talk about while we can.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, I saw this kind of here and there. I know they're saying that they're going, I think it's expected to launch like this week. Oh, so it is launched. If you can still hear me, threads.net is launched. Oh. So it did launch this past week. Threads is launched.
So threads.net is now live.
It is. It's on. If you go to threads.net, it'll prompt you to like log in. Zuck 6 days ago posted, it looks like this photo from his Facebook days. It's actually kind of cute. And then they like cropped in like the Threads homepage on his really old computer. It's actually a super cute photo.
Okay, cute. Yeah, we gotta include that then in the newsletter.
Yeah,
so Threads is there, you guys. Maybe that'll bring some traction in now that it's on the web, like it's on desktop like this.
And get this, when you click onto, so there's on people's profiles, you'll have the name, and then right underneath there, it's like a little gray bubble that says threads.net. And when you click onto that, it says soon you'll be able to follow and interact with other people on Fediverse.
Yeah, so that's like Mastodon.
Yeah, like Mastodon. They can also find people on Threads using full usernames like @Zuck @threads.net.
So. Interesting. Okay, so you guys, when Threads said that they were building something decentralized, I think they really meant it. Where Mastodon similarly is built on a decentralized framework, meaning that when you join Mastodon, you join a specific server. So if at no given time can all of Mastodon go down, that's the whole idea behind it, is that it's spread out across various nodes, various servers, different users across different servers interacting with other servers, but your data and everything, your account is all hosted separately. So Threads Meta did say that they wanted to make Threads interoperable with the Fediverse, right? And so now I guess they're doing it. So soon people on Threads will be able to interact with Mastodon users, which I think is really cool. And that's a big indicator for me personally of, I think, where the future of like decentralized social is going. Like, I don't know if it will be Mastodon and Threads, but if it does continue in that direction, it definitely lays a really good foundation for other decentralized networks and apps to join in, if it means that they can allow their users to interact with other users on other platforms that are also decentralized, but still be, loyal to whatever it is that they signed up through. So it's interesting. Like, that would be an interesting deep dive actually to like take one of these days. Oh yeah, I did forget about this. Apparently X is also changing how link previews are presented in stream. They're removing they're removing the headline. Okay, yeah, they're going to be removing the headline and preview text from links, showing only the image. So yeah, included a link to it or a screenshot of it in the newsletter.
Okay, just really fast on the Elon Musk and Zuck drama. Did you see that only a day after Zuck decided that it was like time to move on from the cage match, Musk tweeted that he'd be test driving a Tesla to house and knock on the door and fight and live stream the action.
None of which happened, by the way.
Yeah, because a Meta spokesperson was like, Zuck is out of town and he's actually takes
like
this
not
sport
even
seriously,
here.
so he's not gonna fight someone who randomly shows up at the house.
Again, I'm that neutral observer eating my popcorn, watching the drama unfold beyond me, and we're just here to give you guys the tea and all of the good sauce. So that's what's happening. For now, y'all can consider this whole muck drama squashed. We're not going to bring it back up again unless we absolutely have to, because that was exhausting. Have you been seeing on TikTok, there's now the get ready without me trend? It's so funny.
No.
Yeah, you got to watch it. People would just like put their camera up and it'll be like, get ready without me. And they're like, you know, out of the shower in their towel, and then they walk back in and they're ready. So YouTube apparently now has a special little like badge logo situation that people can use on their videos to highlight Get Ready With Me creators, which, wow, that's a whole damn niche now. Meta just launched a beta test of Horizon Worlds on mobile devices. So it's the next stage of Meta's metaverse, which I'm also exhausted of talking about. Remember, guys, if you die on the metaverse, you die in real life.
That's how it works.
Black Mirror. That's how it works. Yes.
Yeah.
I guess I'll wrap it up by saying thank you guys. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Smash that subscribe button. I had to say it. You can find us wherever you stream your podcasts, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the newsletter. That's where we put the secret sauce every week, hitting your inboxes on Monday nights. Thanks for joining us this week. We'll see you guys back again next week.
Bye, guys.
Hey, guys. That's a wrap for this week's episode of the Sauce Pod. Hope you enjoyed yourself, maybe even learned a thing or two. Don't forget, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can also subscribe to our newsletter that goes out every Monday night. All of the latest and greatest tips, news, and trends for content creators and digital entrepreneurs. Until next time, stay saucy.